Hey guys, today's video I'm going to be talking about the 7 core DBT assumptions. So these assumptions are beliefs that both therapists and clients choose to have, even though they're things that can't necessarily be proven. I really like the assumptions. As we go through them, I'll kind of explain why in more detail, but they've helped me feel a lot more comfortable in therapy and feel more comfortable to talk about things just because of the way DBT therapists think about a lot of things. So let's get into it. The first assumption is people are doing the best they can. So this is one that I have a lot of problems with. On the one hand, it's very validating if you're someone who is struggling. I often feel like I am not doing the best I can and I am never doing the best I can. But the reality is, I am doing the best I can with the skills I have in the specific situation. Yes, I could work to handle it better, but in that moment, whatever happened was the best that I could do. So, in this way, it's very validating and hopeful. But the other side of this is it can feel extremely invalidating because you're also supposed to apply this to everyone, including people who have hurt you. So, I struggle a lot with that side of the assumption. I think I don't want to assume that the people that hurt me were doing the best they can. Um, but sometimes the best that someone can do is to be a really terrible person, and that's just kind of something to accept as well. Assumption number 2 is that people want to improve. So, therapists will believe that their clients do want to improve, and this is something that helps me because there's a lot of days where I don't feel like I want to improve, or I feel like I'm not acting like I want to improve because things are so difficult. But I know that I do want to improve, and even though I might be acting like I don't, my therapist as well knows that I do really want to improve. Assumption number 3 is people need to do better, try harder, and be more motivated to change. So I like this one, especially after having some issues with the first assumption, because it shows that just because someone is doing the best they can doesn't mean that they don't have to work harder. So those people that have hurt me, even though they were doing the best they could in that moment, they still have the responsibility to work harder to change, and they don't just get a free pass. And the same applies to yourself as well. So just because I'm doing the best I can in a situation doesn't mean that I don't need to work hard to continue to improve and continue to be more skillful and all those things. Assumption number 4 is people may not have caused all of their own problems, but they do have to solve them anyways. Um, a lot of issues that I have were caused by other people. And it seems, I guess, kind of unfair to me. I think, especially the beginning of my therapy, when I was like, well, all these people cause these problems for me, and like now I have to fix it. This is so stupid. And it is pretty unfair that you have to fix problems that weren't necessarily caused by you, but you have to still be the one to do it because that's the only way that you're going to make change. So it's still, for me, it's still my responsibility to work on and change my behaviors that I have as a result of the things that have happened to me. Assumption number 5 is new behavior has to be learned in all relevant contexts. This one was really confusing to me at first because I just didn't know what it meant. But basically, it means that you have to learn the skills that you're taught in DBT. It's good to practice them in like the less intense scenarios when you may not actually need the skill, but you want to just practice using it anyway, because that will help your brain know to go to that skill. But you also have to make sure that you practice them in the more intense moments. If you're only doing these skills when you're in your DBT group or when you're feeling fine but just feel like practicing a skill, it's not going to help you as much as it would if you were to practice these skills in the specific situations that you need the skill for. Assumption number 6 is all behaviors, actions, thoughts, and emotions are caused. So there's always a cause to these things, even if you don't know what the cause is. And for me, I really like this one because a lot of the times I feel like I'm just like, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, like, that's why I am the way that I am. Like, there's no real reason for it. Like, I just need to, like, figure out how to be a normal person or whatever. Like, I get really negative on myself. But I think that this assumption is a really good reminder that there are reasons that we act the way that we do and feel the way that we do. And it's important to know that a lot of the times these actions that cause these things aren't our fault, but it's something that we can identify what the cause is and then work to change it. And lastly, assumption number 7 is figuring out and changing the causes of behavior works better than judging or blaming. Judging and blaming is a lot easier to do. Um, it might feel better in the moment. I know I've had a lot of times where, like, I just want to blame other people and be annoyed and not actually work on changing the things for myself. But even though it feels good, a little bit good in the moment to kind of get some of that anger out, which is a good thing too, ultimately, if you just spend all your time judging and blaming about like the things that have happened to you, you're never going to be able to create positive change and move past these things. So that is it for today's video on the 7 DBT core assumptions. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will do my best to answer them. If there are other skills or other topics that you would like to see me go over in videos, please also feel free to leave those in the comments. And I thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.